Hello everyone. In previous video, we have been discussing about the Altman Z-score model. In this video, we will continue the same. We will solve some problems from the question paper. See here, the first question is, it had been asked in 2009, 12 as well as 14. Okay, this is for 15 marks. Alto Limited is not doing well and has reported losses in last 2 years. Alto is a company which is not performing well and which is incurring losses since last 2 years. The financial position, which means the balance sheet of the company as on 31st/3/2016, is given below. And the balance sheet is given in the horizontal format. Liabilities rupees, asset rupees. Share capital is 6 lakh, 9% long term debt 10 lakh, creditors 2 lakh 50 and bank overdraft 1 lakh 50. 9% long-term loan, creditors and the bank overdraft, these three liabilities can be considered as the total value of book debt, right? Why? Because it includes long-term debt plus short-term debts, right? So short-term debts are creditors and bank overdraft, long-term debt is 9% long-term debt, right? Next, we have on the asset side, we have fixed asset and current asset. They have classified the assets into two categories, fixed and current asset. Under fixed asset, we have land and building and plant and machinery 8 lakh as well as the 7 lakh. Under current assets, we have inventory of 1 lakh 80, debtors of 1 lakh 20, and one more information they have given here is accumulated losses, that is 2 lakh. So what do we have to do with this accumulated losses? Here we have to deduct this accumulated losses from the total asset, right? If you remember, to calculate calculation of total asset, first method is that you have to deduct the accumulated losses from the total asset. You will get the exact total asset value. That is, from 20 lakhs you have to deduct 2 lakh, you will get 18 lakh as your total assets, right? Next, other method is total asset minus goodwill. When the goodwill is when the information is given regarding goodwill that goodwill has no realizable value, that time we have to deduct the goodwill value and we'll get the exact total asset value. Okay. For the year ending 31st/3/2016, the company earned EBIT of 8% on sales of rupees 10 lakh. So what information they have given us here? EBIT 8%. EBIT is 8%. But of what? On sale. On sale. Sales value they have given us 10 lakhs. Okay. On 10 lakhs we have to calculate EBIT at 8%. See here the calculation I have done. EBIT is 8% on sales, which means 10 lakh into 8%, that will be 80,000. Okay. Next, the market value of equity at the close of the year was 5 lakh. Market value of equity 5 lakh. Directly they have given this value as 5 lakh. Is Alto Limited a SIC company as per Altman discrimination function? This is the question. We have to calculate Z-score value and we have to comment on that. Okay. First, what we have to calculate? First, we have to calculate X1. The formula is working capital divided by total asset, right? Working capital divided by total asset. So, how do we have to calculate this working capital? That is current asset minus current liabilities. We'll get the working capital. So, what are the current asset in our question? Inventory, debtors, these two are our current asset because accumulated losses we deduct it from the total asset. This is not current asset. We shouldn't have to consider it. And creditors as well as the bank overdraft. These two are current liabilities. 9% long-term debt is a long-term debt. We can't consider it as a current liability, right? So the calculation will be inventory plus debtors will come to 3 lakh and creditors plus bank overdraft will come to 4 lakh. So net working capital will be 3 lakh minus 4 lakh. You will get answer minus 1 lakh. Okay, the answer is negative, minus 1 lakh, or you can write in bracket 1 lakh. Both are same. Okay, next thing is to calculate the total asset, because the formula is working capital divided by total asset. We have calculated the value of working capital. Now we have to calculate the value of total asset. 20 lakhs are our total assets. From that we have to deduct the accumulated losses. We just discussed this. So 2 lakh, you will get the answer 18 lakh as your total asset. Okay, so working capital is minus 1 lakh, or you can write in bracket 1 lakh, divided by total assets are 18 lakhs. You will get the answer minus 0.055. Okay, because the answer, this figure is in minus, so answer will be in minus. Okay, so the x1 value is 0.055, minus 0.055. Next thing is to calculate the x2 value. Okay, x2 is retained earnings divided by total asset. So in our question they have not given us the retained earnings. They haven't given us the retained earnings. You can see here they have given us share capital, 9% long term debt, creditors, bank overdraft, but there are no retained earnings. So retained earnings will be 0, and the total assets are 18 lakhs. So the value will be 0, right? So the value will be 0. I have written here note. See here, there are no retained earnings, hence x5, that is x2 not x5, x2 value would be 0. Please make the correction, it is x2 not x5. Okay, next is to calculate the x3. The formula is EBIT divided by total asset, right? So have they given us the EBIT in our question? Yes, EBIT we have calculated, that is 80,000. So how do we have to calculate this now? EBIT is 80,000 divided by total assets are 18 lakhs. Okay, total assets are 18 lakhs. You will get one value 0.044. Okay, this is your exact answer, 0.044. Next is to calculate the market value of equity, which is already given in your question. Market value is 5 lakh divided by book value of total debt, right? This we have to calculate. See, market value of equity given in your question 5 lakh, but book value of total debt, that is 9% of long term debt plus creditors plus bank overdraft. Okay, 10 lakh plus 2 lakh 50 plus 1 lakh 50. Right, 14 lakhs will be your total debt. So 5 lakh divided by 14 lakhs, it will come to 0.357. Okay, next thing is to calculate x5, sales divided by total assets. Sale is also given in our question. 10 lakhs divided by total assets are 18 lakhs. The answer will be 0.55. So we have calculated the value from x1 to x5, right? x1 to x5. So just have to put these values in the ultimate discrimination function, that is z equals to 1.2x plus 1.4 x2 plus 3.3 x3 plus 0.6 x4 plus 1.0 x5, right? Now the x1 value is 0.055, which is a negative figure, plus 1.4 as it is multiplied by x2 value is 0, so 0, right? Plus 3.3 into x3. x3 value is 0.044, but I have missed one 0 here, 0.044. Please make the correction there. It is 0.044. I have written there 0.44. Just make the correction, 0.044. Okay, plus 0.6 into x4 value is 0.375 plus 1 into x5 value is 0.55. Okay, then we have one we have to just multiply all these figures. 1.2 into minus 0.055 will give you minus 0.066, plus 1.4 into 0 will be 0. 3.3 into 3.3 into 0.044. I have missed one 0 there, right? So 0.044 will give you 0.1452. Okay, the answer is 0.1452. Please make the correction there as well. Okay, plus 0.6 into 0.375 will give you 0.2142, plus 1 into 0.55 will give you 0.55. Okay, now what we have to do is this minus figure we have to keep the same, and just we have to add all these plus signs. Will give you 0.9094. 0.9094 is the plus value, and we have the minus value 0.066. You just have to deduct it from the plus sign. You will get one value, that is 0.8434. okay, because this value is higher than this value, the sign will be of plus. So the answer is 0.8434. this is your z-score value. And one more thing, you have to comment on this. That's your homework. This is your homework. Just have to comment on the z-score value. Okay, I hope you have understood this. Let's take the next one, which had been asked in 2017 for the 15 marks. Okay, X Limited, an operationally sick unit, provides the following data for the current financial year and requires to predict the financial standing using Altman's multiple discriminant analysis. Okay, liabilities rupees, assets rupees. The question or the balance sheet is in the horizontal format. Equity shares of rupees 10 each, 2 lakh. General reserve 1 lakh. 10% debentures 5 lakh. 8% long term loans 3 lakh. Bank overdraft 1 lakh, and the current liability they have given 1 lakh. See here, they have given us general reserve, but they haven't given here us surpluses, which means that this only general reserve will be considered as the retained earnings. Okay, next they have given us 10% debenture, 8% long term loan. These two are the long term debt, right? Bank overdraft and current liability, these two are our short term debt. So those four items are our book value of total debt, or we can say total value of book debt, right? And what are the current liabilities here? Short term debts are the current liabilities. So bank overdraft as well as the current liabilities, these two will be our current liabilities. Okay, on the other hand, we have assets, right? Under assets we have goodwill, that is intangible asset. Land and building, plant and machinery, furniture, inventory, debtors, cash in hand. All these information is given. So what are the current asset here? Inventory, debtors, cash in hand. These three are our current asset. Plant and machinery, land and building, furniture, these are our non-current assets, and the goodwill is an intangible asset. Okay, let's see what other information they have given. The following additional information is available. Goodwill has no realizable value. Okay, it means that goodwill has no value now. So what we have to do, while calculating total assets, we have to deduct this goodwill value. Okay, remember this, while calculating total asset, we have to deduct the goodwill value. Why we are deducting it? Because it has no value now, no realizable value. That's why we have to deduct it. Okay, land and building will be realized at 3 lakhs. Okay, the book value of land and building is 6 lakh, but it has been realized for 3 lakh. So which value we have to take while calculating the total assets? We have to take the realizable value, not the book value. Okay, whenever they give you all the realizable value of the assets, that time we have to take the realizable value, not the book value. Okay, plant and machinery will be realized at 1 lakh. The book value of plant and machinery is 2 lakh, and it has been realized for 1 lakh, which means we have to take 1 lakh while calculating total asset and not this 2 lakh. Okay, next, see here, D, debtors include a bad debt of rupees 20,000. before explaining this, I would like to tell you that there is no changes in the value of furniture. Book value is 1 lakh. Realizable value, no information is given, which means that we have to take the book value. When no information is given regarding any asset, that time we have to take the book value. If any information is given regarding the assets and they have given us the realizable value, that time we have completely and definitely have to take the realizable value. Okay, fine. Debtors include a bad debt of rupees 20,000. Debtors value is 1 lakh. In this 1 lakh, 20,000 is our bad debts. So what is the actual value of debtors? 80,000, right? How 80,000? Because see here, 1 lakh is the value of total debtors. In this 1 lakh, already 20,000 is included, which is a bad debt, right? The debts which can't be recovered. That's why they are bad debts. So 20,000 are our bad debts. So exact value of debtors is 80,000. We have to consider 80,000 while calculating the total assets and current assets also. Okay, 80,000 our debtors, not 1 lakh, because 20,000 is our bad debts. Next, the company has reported sales of rupees 8 lakh, EBIT of rupees 2 lakh for the just year ended. So sales value is given directly 8 lakh and the EBIT is also given 2 lakh. The share market value per share at the end of the year is, the year will be 25 rupees 25. Market value per share 25 rupees they have given. Okay. So what we have to do first? We have to calculate the X1 value, that is working capital divided by total asset. We do not have working capital directly, they haven't given. Total assets, they also haven't given directly. We have to calculate working capital first, then we have to calculate the total assets, right? See here, working capital calculation, formula is CA, current assets minus current liabilities, CA minus CL. Current assets calculation, inventory 1 lakh, debtors we have to take 80,000. As I just said, 20,000 are our bad debts, we have to deduct it. We get the value 80,000 plus cash in hand, that is 1 lakh. So total will be 2 lakh 80,000. Current liabilities, bank overdraft and current liabilities together will be our current liabilities. So the value is 2 lakh. So 2 lakh 80,000 minus 2 lakh, you will get 80,000 as your working capital, right? Next, what we have to calculate is total assets. Total assets, all we have to take the realizable value, as I just said, right? Land and building, realizable value is 3 lakh, we have to take that amount. Plant and machinery, realizable value is 1 lakh, that we have to take. Furniture, nothing information is given about it, so we have to take the book value. Inventory, as it is 1 lakh. Debtors, again we have to take here 80,000, because 20,000 is book debts, sorry, bad debts, not book debts, bad debts. Next we have cash in hand, which is 1 lakh. So all the value we have to add up, it will come to 7 lakh 80,000, which is your total assets. So we have calculated the working capital, we have calculated total assets. Now it is easy for us to calculate the X1 value. 80,000 divided by 7 lakh 80, you will get 0.10 as your X1 value. Okay. Next thing is, we have to calculate X2. The formula is retained earnings divided by total assets. Retained earnings are 1 lakh. As I just said in the while explaining the question, only general reserve they have given, surplus information is not given. So we have to take only this value as our retained earnings. Okay. So retained earnings will be 1 lakh divided by total assets. We calculated just 7 lakh 80, you will get one value 0.13. This is your retained earnings. I have written here also retained earnings equals to general reserve, that equals to 1 lakh. Okay. Next thing is to calculate the X3. X3 formula is EBIT divided by total assets. EBIT is already given in your question. I have written here also. EBIT is given 2 lakh. Sales are given 8 lakh. So 2 lakh divided by total assets will be total assets are 7 lakh 80, and it will give you 0.26 as your X3 value. Okay. Next we have X4. X4 calculation. X4 equals to market value of equity divided by book value of debt, right? So market value of equity, how do we have to calculate the market value of equity? first what we have to calculate number of equity shares, right? We have to calculate the number of equity shares. What is the formula for this? Equity share capital divided by face value per equity share, right? This is the formula. So what is the equity share capital? See here in the question they have given us equity share capital, that is 2 lakh, right? 2 lakh is the capital and the face value of the share is 10. So 10. So how many shares will you get? 20,000, right? So answer is 20,000 equity shares. First we have to calculate the number of equity shares, right? So we have calculated now number of equity shares. Number of equity shares are 20,000, right? So next, what is next step? The market value per share at the end of the year is 25. What we have to do? This 20,000 number of shares we have to multiply it by 25, okay? Number of equity shares into market price per share, 20,000 we have calculated. These are the number of equity shares which has to be multiplied by market price per share. That will give you 5 lakh. So market value of equity shares are 5 lakh, okay? Next thing is that we have to calculate the book value of debt, right? Book value of debt. While explaining the problem, I told you how to calculate that. 10% debentures, 8% long-term loan. These two are the long-term debt, right? Bank overdraft and current liability. These two are the short-term liabilities, or we can call it as current liabilities. So long-term plus short-term will be our total book debt value. So 5 lakh plus 3 lakh plus 1 lakh plus 1 lakh, it will give you 10 lakhs. So the answer of X4 financial ratio will be 5 lakh divided by 10 lakh. You will get 0.5 as your answer. Okay. Next is to calculate the X5. The formula is sales divided by total assets. So sales is already given in your question. Even I have written here 8 lakhs divided by total assets are 7,80,000. So it will give you 1.03 as your X5 financial ratio value. Okay. Next thing is we have calculated all the financial ratios value X1 to X5. Next we have to put those value in the ultimate discrimination function, right? This value 1.2 x1 plus 1.4 x2 plus 3.3 x3 plus 0.6 x4 plus 1.0 x5. This is the function. In this function we have to put the x1, x2, x3, x4, x5 value. So the x1 value is 0.10, x2 value is 0.13, x3 value is 0.26, x4 value is 0.5 and x5 value is 1.03, right? So just multiply with the 1.2, 1.4, 3.3, 0.6 and 1.0. It will give you 0.12, right? This figure will give you 0.12. 1.4 into 0.13 will give you 0.182. 3.3 into 0.26 will give you 0.858. 0.6 into 0.5 will give you 0.3. 1.0 multiplied by 1.03 will give you 1.03 because it has been multiplied by 1. It will give you the same value. And the answer of Z is 2.49. This is our Z value. Okay. Now, the main thing is that we have to comment on it. The calculated Z score value is 2.49, right? 2.49, which is between 1.81 and 2.99. It shows the gray area, which means the company may or may not become sick. In our first video, we have discussed this value, right? If the Z value is between these two values, right, then we can say the company may become sick or may not become sick, which we call it as gray area. According to guidelines given by Altman Z score, the calculated value Z is less than 2.675, right, which is less than 2.675. See here, the value we calculated 2.49, right, 2.49, which is less than 2.675, right? So what we can state here, the company is heading towards bankruptcy. If the value, the calculated value, Z value, if this value was 2.89. That time what we would have commented, that this value, z value, is more than this value, right? That time we can say that company is financially sound. But in our case, this value is less than this value. That's why what we can comment, the company is heading towards the bankruptcy. Okay. Next, see, we have here one question from 2018 for the 5 marks. The following balance sheet details are available in respect of a Sikh company based in Belagavi city. Okay, particulars and rupees in lakhs are given. These values are in lakhs. Okay, current assets, which is, it is not issue, current assets 100 lakhs, current liabilities 80 lakh, net fixed assets 250 lakhs, 10% debt 150 lakh, equity capital of rupees 10 each, 100 lakhs, face value of each equity share is rupees 10 and the capital is 100 lakhs, right? Retained earnings 20 lakhs, market value per share 25 rupees per share, right? One share value 25 rupees is there. This is not in lakhs, do not write lakhs, huh? They have clearly mentioned here per share. One the share value 25 rupees is there. Market value per share is 25 rupees. EBIT 70 lakhs, right? And lastly, sales are 200 lakhs. Okay, is firm a Sikh unit as per Altman's prediction model? They have asked this question, Altman prediction model, which means Z score we have to calculate here and comment on it. Okay, so before calculating this, what all information they have given directly, everything is given directly, we just have to put the values in the formula and we'll get the answer. First we have to start with the x1, working capital divided by total asset, right? So how do we calculate the working capital? Current assets minus current liabilities. So current assets are here 100 and current liabilities are 80. So working capital is 20, right? Easy. Next, total asset. How do we have to calculate the total asset? See, in all our previous problems, we have calculated total asset like total assets minus accumulated losses or profit and loss account debit balance will give you the total asset, right? This is the first method. Second method was total asset minus goodwill value. If any information is given regarding the goodwill, that goodwill has no realizable value, that time we have to deduct the goodwill from the total asset, will get the exact total asset value, right? But nothing is given information like that in this question, right? So how do we have to calculate total asset? See here, one information is given, net fixed asset 250 lakhs and we have the current asset 100 lakhs. Together it will be total asset. How? See, this is, assume that this is your balance sheet, okay? This is your balance sheet. We have asset, rupees and liabilities. On the liability side, we categorize the assets into two parts, non-current assets and current assets. Under non-current assets, we have the fixed assets, right? Fixed asset, all the fixed asset we have, and under current asset, all the current assets and this is your total assets. This value will be your, this is fixed asset, this is current asset, and these are the total fixed asset. So here we can say net fixed asset plus current assets will give you the total assets, right? So 250 plus 100 will give you 350 as your total asset. See the calculation here. Current assets minus current liability 20 lakhs, we have calculated the working capital, right? So total assets will be net fixed asset plus current assets. 250 plus 100 will give you 350. Now we can put these value in the formula. Working capital is 20 divided by 350 will give you 0.057 as your x1 value. Okay. Next is to calculate the retained earnings. Retained earnings is given 20 and total assets we calculated 350. So the answer will be 0.057. Okay, I'll show you the question. See here, retained earnings are 20 lakhs. So 20 divided by 350, you will get the answer. Next we have EBIT, X3. X3 formula is EBIT divided by total asset. EBIT is 70 and the total assets are 350, right? So what would be the answer? 0.2. It will give you 0.2 as your x3 value, right? Next thing is to calculate the x4. The formula of it is market value of equity divided by book value of total debt, right? Here we have work sum. Here we have some work. We have to calculate here market value of equity first, then we have to calculate the book value of total debt. Okay, how do we have to calculate this? The market value of equity, first we have to calculate the number of shares, right? Number of shares formula is equity capital divided by face value of equity shares. The equity capital is 100, right? Here they have given equity capital 100 lakhs divided by face value is rupees 10, it will give you 10. Okay, so 100 means 100 lakhs. 100 lakhs means 1 crore divided by 10. We'll get the 10 lakh as your answer. 10 lakh are your number of shares. Okay, do not convert them. Okay, please don't convert them, otherwise the answer will be something different. Or if some 10 is more, if you write 10 more less, that will create mess. So do not convert it, write, you'll get the answer 10 na? So write as it is 10. So 10 is your number of shares and you have to multiply it by market price per share. Market price per share, the market price per share is 25, which is given in your question. The answer will be 250. This is lakhs. Okay, 250 lakhs. Next thing is, sorry, how can I turn it off? Sorry for the inconvenience. The book value of debt, how can we calculate this? Long term debt plus short term debt, right? Short term, or we can call it as current liabilities. So long term debt are 10% debentures and we have the current liability 150 plus 80 will give you 230 lakhs. Okay, 10% debentures 150 and the current liability 80, right? 230 is your total book debt value. So the x4 solution is 1.09. 250 divided by 230 will give you 1.09. Next we have to calculate x5. The value is, the formula is sales divided by total assets. Sales is already given in your question. See, sales value is 200 lakhs. 200 lakhs. So 200 divided by 350 are our total assets, will give you 0.57. Okay, we have calculated x1 value, x2, x3, x4 as well as the x5 value. We just have to put those value in the function given by z ultimate. Z equals to 1.2 x1 plus 1.4 x2 plus 3.3 x3 plus 0.6 x4 plus 1.0 x5. Okay, these values, we just have to put these values in the formula. 1.2 x1 value is 0.057, x2 value is 0.057, x3 value is 0.2, x4 value is 1.09, x5 is 0.57. This, and the answer of z is 2.0313, or we can approx it by 2.04. Okay, this is our z score value. Please write the comment for this also and let me know what is the comment. Okay, I hope this is clear. Okay, next we have one more question. 2019 5 marks and no question on 15 marks in 2019. Even in 2018 there is no question on industrial sickness for the 15 marks. 5 marks they have asked, but for the 15 marks there are no questions. See this question. The following balance sheet details are available in respect of a XYZ company based in Bangalore city. Particulars rupees in lakhs. I'll tell you before reading out. This question is the copy paste of 2018. Whatever we just saw now, that is the copy paste of this question, 2018 question copy paste is 2019. Even they have not changed a single word in this except these values. Okay, the values are different, everything is same. So I have solved this question. See here the solution. I have solved this question. You just do one thing, please solve on your own, okay, and compare your value with the given values which I have solved. You will get to know how much you have understood this ultimate z score. Okay, this is your homework. It is not like that I haven't solved. I have solved it. Even I'll send you this PDF. Okay, but please try to solve it on your own, at least one question. And one more thing, this is the end of our 5th chapter, and if you have any queries in this chapter, please let me know. I'll solve those queries. We will start the 2nd chapter, merger and acquisition, as early as possible. Thank you.